Hello and welcome everyone. This is Rada and I am here with Raven Podmos. We're going to be discussing today her session with Maya the Shaman and the Infinite Cosmic Records. And it's very cool because Raven is actually an herbalist who does, would you want to share about the work that you do?
Okay, yeah, sure. I've been an herbalist for about 26 years, and I have a home-based business called Wolf Willow Botanicals. I use a lot of locally grown plants, so I have a garden, so I grow a lot of my herbs to put into my products, and then I do a lot of wild crafting of herbs on my property and outside in the forest. And then I make like a line of skincare products, so natural creams and soaps and bath bombs. And then I also do workshops for children and adults, so teaching them about just making natural skincare products and plant identification and learning about ethical wildcrafting. And yeah.
I love it. I can't wait
Mhm.
to take one of your workshops. I can't wait to learn more on my own herbalism journey. So excited to talk to you. And let's just jump in to your session because the Infinite Cosmic Records is, from my experience, it's a very multi-dimensional experience, and it's something that's kind of out of this world that brings us into different lifetimes and timelines that we have. And so I'm really curious to jump into the first doorway with you and what
Mhm.
that was like. First of all, how did you hear about Maya the Shaman?
I actually found her just through her website. I'm very interested in Lemurian culture, ancestry. I feel a strong connection to Lemuria, so I was
Mm.
Googling Lemuria, and her website showed up, and I just felt this really strong connection to her and the work that she's doing as a shaman. And yeah, so I just reached out and thought I'm just gonna see where this takes me because yeah, that was
You're
basically how
curious?
it began. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. That's so
Hmm.
cool. So you just reached out and then you had a session and like what was it like? Like how was the experience? Um
Hmm.
and yeah, I just for people that have never done it, we want to walk through with you through
Yeah.
your journey from the beginning.
Okay. I would say first I was a little nervous and apprehensive. I've done shamanic journey before, but it was when I was in my early 20s, and it. I don't think I was ready, like
Mhm.
psychologically or spiritually ready for it. So it didn't affect me or have a profound effect on me. But this experience with Maya the Shaman, it was a very profound raising of my own personal spiritual journey, and it confirmed things about myself that it was just a very very important part of my spiritual journey. So when we first started the journey and she opened up the portal to go into Mother Earth, I was nervous, but she just gave me so much love and confidence and knowing that I would be protected, and she had me surrounded with love and light, and she started guiding me down the steps into Mother Earth and then into the hallway, and she instructed me to use my third eye as a light, and I shone that light down the hallway, and she asked if I saw any doors, and immediately when I looked to my left, I saw a it was a like a pale blue wooden door with a brass handle, and I
Oh,
turned the handle and opened the door, and I was just immediately hit by this humidity. It was like I was just just hit so hard with this heavy, humid, wet, tropical air, and it was just I was covered in, there was green everywhere. There were beautiful green vines and green plants, and it was just like this amazing tropical rainforest. And Maya the Shaman asked if I saw anything and if anything sort of called to me. And I looked to my left, and there was this giant green glistening leaf that was there. It was like the same size as me. It was this big, tall leaf that I was just drawn to it. And it was just this beautiful emerald green color, and it was full of moisture and just beautiful. And I just went towards the leaf and I laid back into the leaf, and the leaf just enveloped me in a cocoon. And I was completely enveloped in this beautiful leaf, and I just felt so safe and protected in this
Mm.
cocoon. And I just felt like I was like Mother Earth was hugging me and keeping me safe. And I was in this cocoon, and then Maya asked, what else was I feeling? And then I started to lift up or rise up into the air. And so I was in this leaf and I was in this cocoon, and I started to ascend into the air. And then next thing I knew, I was looking around and there were stars everywhere. I could see stars, I could see nebulas, I could see galaxies. And then I looked below me, and there was this mass of purple clouds, just like this swirling mass of purple clouds. And then I slowly descended into this mass of clouds, and below me was this beautiful turquoise, sort of crystal clear water. It was so clear. It was just shimmery water. I could see into the bottom of the ocean. It was white sand in the bottom, and I was in
Mm.
the water, and I was floating in the water. And then this jellyfish came came swimming towards me. And Maya the Shaman asked it, was it saying anything to you? I said, no, it wasn't saying anything. It was just sort of swimming towards me. And then all of a sudden, all of these jellyfish were swimming
Oh,
towards me.
wow.
And then I was like
Ooh.
like they made a bed. I was like floating on this beautiful bed of this soft, squishy jellyfish. And they carried me out like further into the ocean. And then there was a white humpback whale. I just saw this whale sort of breaching, and this whale was there floating beside me. And he started to resonate a tone, a very low vibration, and he just resonated this really low vibration tone and just went through my entire body. And in my the shaman said, yeah, he's just calibrating your DNA. It just felt like my entire body was just re realigned and readjusted with the sound vibrations from this
Wow.
white whale.
Wow.
And
So did it feel like a DNA activation? Um,
mhm,
kind of, yeah, because whales can do that.
yes,
Sound like
yeah.
this was an ascended whale. Like, where did you feel like this was? Did it feel like 5D? Did it feel like Lemuria?
It it felt like 5D. It felt like I was on a watery planet. So I think maybe Sirius B, maybe Mintonka. I'm still like kind of like I have a connection. My brother, he passed on
Oh.
about 13 years ago, and he's a dolphin. he he's he's there. He comes and visits me. So I feel like this connection to like many people do, a very strong
Yeah.
connection to whales and to dolphins. They are always watching over us and guiding us. So I feel, yeah, there was an activation that took place from this white whale, and it was just it. My whole body was just vibrating. It was just, but just with unconditional love. It was like a very calming feeling. I felt very calm and very, very safe. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it was just a beautiful,
so far so
yeah.
amazing. And I almost like feel like I can see into it and feel it because it's so visceral. And
Hmm.
like when you said like you felt it in your body, did you feel it in this body or you know what I mean? Like when we kind of travel with our light body, or did you feel it like it was both being activated?
I felt it in my physical body. Like I
Mm.
definitely felt my body was just vibrating, just a vibration sensation. And
Oh, wow. I know I've had that feeling before because in front of
hmm
a real whale, I mean not real,
hmm
that was a real whale too, but in on the beach. And so I know that feeling. It
yeah.
almost makes you feel like high, like like the technicolors expand. And
Hmm.
this is just the technology of our DNA when it's
Yeah.
activated. You know, that's I think that's how you really know when your DNA is being activated. That is amazing. And I'm so sorry. Please continue because it's just so good.
uh yeah, so the whale met this beautiful whale, and then I just started to rise up through the I was in the leaf again, and I was almost like my vehicle. It was transporting me back. So I was rising up through the purple clouds again, and I was in the stars. And then I started to descend back into the forest, and the leaf kind of unfurled open. And then I came out and opened the door, and I was in the hallway again.
Wow. So
Mm-hmm.
from that experience itself, that's pretty prolific. How do you feel like what was the importance for you in this in your now life? Like to kind of bridge, was that bridging that reality to you? Like was that DNA activation important to you? Like what how did that translate into your now moment?
For me, it emphasized the importance of frequency and the
Mm.
importance of sound. Like I do like to use light language just on
Oh.
my own, and I've been having more activations. I did when I was younger, when I was five, like as a child, like I'm sure many children do that. They do speak light language and they don't know what they're speaking. So I felt like this recognition again of the frequency and the tone, and then using that sound frequency for healing. And for me, it was healing the physical body, the emotional body. That was the big thing for me, is to heal those the emotional trauma that I'm from my own past, and my, with loss, abandonment, abuse, all of those things that the physical body has to sustain, and then it
Mhm.
leaks into the emotional body. So I feel like that sound frequency from that whale, he was working on the of physical body, the emotional body, the psychological
Oh.
body. And I just felt like my soul, I knew that my soul is beautiful. My soul is pure, and
Oh.
my soul is always there. It's untouched, it's beautiful. My soul is God, just as everyone's soul comes from source and is comes from God. But there's this work that we all have to do on the emotional level,
Mm.
psychological, and the physical, all of that 3D stuff that we have to deal with. And then so that's what it felt like. It was, yeah, he was working on the emotional and the psychological
Wow, that's
stuff.
so beautiful. And I was just curious about when you mentioned your brother, like, did you feel your brother's presence or any kind of communication or connection in that?
I Not really. No, I didn't. I felt like this white whale was like a master healer. So I
Hmm.
felt like he just had to be there just to work on me, because I've had my brother do frequency work on me, like astrally before, like just with the click, like a clicking, you know how dolphins do the clicking
Yeah.
sound. So he did a lot of the clicking sounds on me. But with this one, yeah, I just felt like it was just this one whale and these jellyfish in this huge, big, wide ocean, and there wasn't any other sea life around. It was just this whale and the jellyfish were all. I was thinking about what's the purpose of these jellyfish, and maybe they're kind of like an insulator in a sense. Maybe they were insulating me just because uh, the intensity of the vibration, like maybe they were just acting as a little insulator, or this between the whale sound and then myself.
Yeah, it sounds like they were
Still trying.
supporting you because they created something for you to lay on.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty amazing. It's so beautiful. For some reason, it just feels so clear to see, like when you describe it in the crystal clear water. It's something that feels so familiar. And to
hmm
go into a space where there's like no predators, like
yeah,
that's pretty nice, you know?
yeah, completely safe, completely just loved, and this unconditional love and safety and warmth and all of those good things that we all need.
Wow, I feel like in some ways you're bringing back that message from that 5D Mother Gaia that,
hmm
because I think a lot of people are feeling worried right now, but it's like that is a place, that is a place, and we're
hmm
kind of bridging that. We're doing the work here and that's there, and, you know, we can kind of cross between. So I think
Yeah.
that's important to share. And so so after you came out,
hmm
and you kind of grounded that in. What was next for you?
So then I was asked if I saw another door, and to my right, like immediately to my right, there was this red crimson door, like a wood door, but painted like this really shiny red crimson color. And there was a black metal handle, sort of like a flip handle on it. Like it was very clear. You could see this red crimson door, shiny paint, and this really like a black metal, like a matte black metal handle.
Mm.
And then I opened that door, and it was on the right hand side. And I opened it, and I was hit with heat. And so this dry heat, and I was in a desert. So I was in this almost like I think about Utah and the sandstone rocks, and it was a red desert, so this red sand, and then there are these big sandstone pillars in
Mm.
the desert, and I stood there for just to let the heat sort of affect me, but there was no wind. It was very still, and then Maya the shaman asked if I saw any animals or anything around me. And then almost immediately there was this big cat, and I don't, maybe a jaguar, maybe a leopard. It was this big spotted cat that started slowly walking towards me. And at first I was scared. I was terrified. I didn't know what this cat was going to do, because it was like stalking, when they was walking very slowly towards me, and I stood still, and then it came towards me, and then it like jumped up, and then it put its paws on my shoulders. So its paws were on my shoulders, and it was looking at me, and his eyes were looking into my eyes, and they were this amazing emerald green color, just the same thing, that crystal. I could see through it. It wasn't opaque. It was like crystal clear green eyes looking into me. And I just started, my whole body just started to like vibrate again. I was getting more like activations. It was just this, my body was vibrating. And Maya the shaman she said, well, ask this cat, who are you? I said, who are you? And the cat said, I am you from
Whew,
another life.
I'm getting chills
So and
all the
then
way
and
down.
then this cat gave this, this cat like yeah, just connected to my heart and gave me a hug. And I was just, and by that point, I was just, my whole body was just like, I just felt, I got the message like to be um, vigilant, to be stealthy, to be sly. Like it was interesting. Like it was very much like just be ever watchful. And I just felt at that point, there's no reason to be afraid. There's no reason
Mm.
to ever be apprehensive or unsure of yourself, or we all, yeah, we all have these feelings of doubt and insecurity, and I've been through so much of that as a younger woman. And it's, you don't trust your intuition. I think that was the big message for me, is like
Yeah.
really, like, wow, like you need to just listen to that voice inside of you, because that
Mm.
voice is so strong, and we cover it up so much, or we listen to other people, we listen to other advice, and we kind of lose track of that voice that's always there. So I felt like this beautiful cat was just saying, "Hey, I am you, you are me. I am there to remind you to listen to that voice and never to be apprehensive or unsure of yourself." Yeah,
So
it
powerful.
was.
I could
Yeah.
feel it. I'm like, when you described the eyes, I almost felt like I could see, and the feeling, the power, and it's like be vigilant, like
Mm-hmm,
trust yourself. And it's so true in our society, and especially in our Western society, like we are not taught to trust our intuition. In fact, we are reprimanded
mm-hmm.
trusting our intuition. We get in trouble. Like if you are a very intuitive kid, they'll be
Yeah.
like, "Stop it! You're just making that up," or you'll get shut down pretty fast. And so it's hard to live in this world if you don't trust your intuition. I think that's so beautiful, and I loved that that was an aspect of you. So it was like, would you? That's what I would call like a soul fragment retrieval because you got back a piece of yourself through that. And did you feel
Mm-hmm,
kind of that infusion of that? Was it a leopard, like that leopard or the that cat, that
mm-hmm,
aspect of its divine intelligence and wisdom infused back into your now being?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Whew.
It just, yeah.
So
It,
powerful.
yeah. It,
So
yeah. It was amazing. Yeah.
did you
I
get
felt
any?
very,
Oh, so please go ahead.
oh, I just felt so grateful and so thankful that it chose to reveal itself to me. And I just say, "Hey, I am you, you are me." And it just, yeah, it was felt like a past life remembering for sure.
Hmm,
Yeah.
that's wild. That's the kind of stuff people do ayahuasca for.
Hmm. Yeah, I've never done ayahuasca. Yeah, I've done, Akashic records, and have had good
Mhm.
experiences with that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was, yeah.
In
It
many
just,
ways, I feel like the infinite cosmic records are really on the cosmic level. Like, I feel like the Akashic records are one level of our records, but I feel like the infinite cosmic records, for some reason, I feel like they're more protected because in some ways I have discovered and others have that, like with the Akashic records, people can kind of mess with it. So you have to always call back all your stuff and reclaim.
mhm,
But with the Infinite Cosmic Records, I feel like when you do work there, it's like that's sealed. You know what I mean?
mhm. Yeah,
That's sealed.
yeah,
People cannot
yeah.
come in and out. Other energies can't interfere. Like
Hmm.
that's really important, that container. And um, so I'm curious, like when you were there in the desert, I love like how you felt the heat. It's such a contrast to feel. When you went into the first door, I felt like the jungle, like the cool wetness
Hmm.
and all of it. It was so tangible. And then this one is like all of the heat. And when you looked around, did you see anything? Did you get any sense of like where you were or what
Hmm.
time period or anything like that?
Yeah, I felt it was, again, I was on a different planet, and it was just desert. It was blue sky, desert, and this cat was a fifth 5D, fifth dimensional being, maybe even a higher being, but it's clearly, yeah. This is where, when you do research on, galactic beings, and you think, oh, the Irma, the cat, the cat beings, like there's so many.
Miriam.
Yeah, yeah. So I think, well, maybe I was with the Irma, all of these beautiful cat people. So, I
Wow.
don't know. It was just,
Oh, yeah. I
yeah.
mean, I would say, as you said before, like trust your intuition.
Hmm.
And it's so true. I think we underestimate how many planets we've been on because I've been on this
Hmm.
journey for a long time. And the more that I do this work, I'm like, whoa, mind blown. And
Yes, yeah.
you know, it's just a divine remembrance
Hmm.
because I think when we come here, that's the thing is we all get amnesia. So we could have had all of these experiences, but we forget and then we're indoctrinated into who we are, what we are, how we should be, and
Yeah.
everything else is irrelevant. Otherwise, you're living in fantasy realms. So to come back to the prolific remembering, I think remembering on the deepest soul level is one of the most important things people can do right now in this time
Mhm.
period. It
Yes, yeah.
overrides so much of the BS.
Yes, yes. It's true that remembering, and I think for especially for star seeds, we need to know where we came from, because it's time. And I know for, like, for myself, that all of those questionings, all of that wondering, like, why am I here? What's my purpose? Where do I fit into this world? And just feeling like there was always something more, but never quite grasping it, like you'd feel these connections to the divine, these connections to the universe, but it was never like, I just, like, for me, I just, like, I needed something that made sense. It's like, it doesn't make sense that we're just put on this planet and we have to suffer all the time.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be more to it. Like,
Yeah.
never I never felt like, I felt like we were being lied to. It's like we were in this big lie and this big programming system, which, as we know, that's what's
Hmm?
been going on. And now people are waking up to it and fully aware of why we are put on this planet and what we're supposed to do. I
Wow.
just wish, I just think about this, yeah, the children, this next generation, and some of them, they're being born without any karma, and they're already fully awake, and they're like leading the charge into this new world that we're entering into. And
It's true. I mean,
mhm.
some people say that they're born with, like, their strands of DNA are not disconnected, like ours have been,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
and like, but the thing is that they can also, like, because of the environment, the parentals, so it really matters, the parents. If the parents, they can come in without any karma, but the issue is a lot of times the parents are maybe not. They're not quite aware. And so
Yeah.
they start to indoctrinate and put a lot of this heaviness on the children, and it really shapes them away from their true divine essence. But luckily, as I say, luckily, the shifts on the planet are changing so much that the light coming in is supporting them, even if they do go through, parents that don't understand, then they will come back into a remembrance. And it's kind of
Mhm.
like in a weird way, I feel like we've had to go the really long road, right? Like so like
Mhm.
we maybe we even had a higher DNA, but then throughout our life it gets lower and lower every time we get inoculated or anything that may, do something to our body, the environment, the water. And so it's kind of like we go through the sludge and then we kind of have to unsludge ourselves,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we're creating the path though for the little ones. And I believe that the little ones have a
Mhm.
destiny to fulfill. And so the work that we do, that you do, that these awakenings, they help to anchor anchor more of this into the earth because it's been
Mhm.
shunned. Like this consciousness
Yes.
has actually been shunned. Like women have been killed for knowing things.
Mhm.
There was prolific murders for having the skills of being an herbalist. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, yeah. I was very hesitant to be an herbalist just for that reason. I kind of kept it hidden and I didn't share my gifts with people because of that deep entrenched fear. And yeah, I knew I was burnt at the stake for it. So yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been there.
Mhm.
I get it, but at the same time, there's this longing to come back to our gifts and
Mhm.
and to know because that's here to help heal people, to
Yes.
help bring healing into the world, and we want to be part of the upshift. There's a shifting of gears, and we know that. And so I
Mhm.
think many people are getting prepared, and this is part of it. This journey through your own shamanic journey with Maya the Shaman. And it's interesting what you said that when you were in your 20s that you weren't ready. So, and then now you've been through a lot more and
Mhm.
now you've been ready to receive. So
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
that's really interesting. So we're not done. Let's keep on keeping on because I am so curious to
Okay.
know where the next door is going to lead us.
Okay. So the next one I came back out the door, and my body was just like vibrating so much, and I needed to calm down. Like my whole body was just vibrating, like just super super high frequency, really really high. I'm like, I just need to calm down, I need to calm down. And then I came out into the hallway, and then there's a door on my left, and it was just a white wooden door with a golden doorknob, so a golden handle. And I turned the door. I was sort of like, my logic mind was kind of coming in thinking, oh, it's going to be another forest again. And
Mm.
I was almost shocked when I opened the door because I was hit with like white snow. So it was this white
Oh.
snowy field. And but it wasn't cold. But it felt. And Maya the shaman's like, just breathe in that oxygen, like breathe in the oxygen from that cold air. And so I just was breathing in the oxygen. I was just calming myself down. I was just standing in the white field, and then the sun was out, so it was a really bright white sun. And then all of these snowflakes were like falling, when snow falls through the sunlight, so they're making all
Oh.
of these little snow crystals everywhere. So it was this beautiful sunny snowy field, and just these snow crystals floating around everywhere. So I'm in this field, and then these snow crystals started to float towards me, and they started landing on my body. So I have all of these snow crystals landing on my body. And then Maya the shaman like asked if did I see anything or hear anything? Were there any animals? And I didn't see anything or hear anything. They're just these snow crystals, and they just covered my entire body. So I was just this big crystal being
Oh,
covered
so it
in
was
all these.
shifting you? Was it shifting? Was your body? Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just
Yeah,
so curious. Like I'm trying to understand. Was your body there shifting into like crystalline, or was it kind of like a crystalline bodysuit, or what was it?
it was. Yeah. So I felt, once they were on me, it felt like, first of all, it calmed my nerve. So it definitely was working on my nervous system. So it calmed my nervous system down. And then I felt like I dissolved. So my physical body completely dissolved into these crystals.
Mhm.
And then I just rose up into the air and went in. The white sun was there, and just rose up as a snow crystal into the sun, and just felt like I was home. I was back with source, creator,
Mhm.
God, all these beautiful names for this, what it the same, what it is, just back with my back with myself again, back with source, back with God.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I'm just
I
like,
just,
it's
yeah.
interesting how you share because I feel like when you share, I feel like through your words and such that there's an activation because I almost feel it. I feel it like, whoa, the crystalline energy, the crystalline light, right? And people
Mhm.
are saying that we are activating our crystalline bodies here too. So it's
Yeah.
quite a long, you know, process and the body has to go through so much, but to be able to experience it in that moment, like in a shorter amount of time, like how long did it take you to to go from coming into the door to being crystalline?
Not very long. It was, yeah, it was all, it just, yeah, not very long. It just kind of happened right away. Like, here you are, covered in
Hmm.
crystals, these snow crystals, and then here you are back with God, back with source. And
Wow.
I just felt like, and Maya the Shaman said that, yeah, that's love, unconditional love. And it just, like I was home, like I was home again, and I was safe. And this is where I will always know to come back to, that this is home.
Mm.
So that, yeah, it was a beautiful experience, a life-changing experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you feel when you were back home? Was it just feeling of peace? Was like try to like people that may not understand like this level of peace, or was there conversation or like when you were just in that space of nirvana, I guess there's no need to ask questions, right? You what was that like? I mean, was there conversation? I guess people would like to know more.
Mm. For, yeah, I felt like when I first started the journey with Maya the Shaman, it was, I wanted to resolve issues with partners, all like dealing with things on the 3D level. So felt like I wanted to resolve things, and what's the next step, and all of this sort of tangible stuff, and
Uh,
relationships and emotions and all that stuff. I wanted to get some answers. And then coming out of that, it just made me realize none of that stuff matters. It doesn't matter in the big picture, like, because God is always there for you. No matter what, God is always there. Source is always there. Creator is always there. It's this pure, unconditional love, and your soul is always that. Your soul is that, just pure, unconditional love. And that's it was just like that affirmation, like, okay, it's gonna be okay. Everything will be okay. You're still gonna have to deal with the day-to-day stuff, but just having that direct connection to source, and knowing that it's always there for you, then it's just it everything will be okay. I think that was the big message for me.
yeah.
Right, it's all, and I'm, yeah, like, we all go through these hardships and these hard times,
Mm.
but it's that remembering, like, it's that remembering where your soul originated from, and you will return back to that beautiful place of unconditional love. So
Wow.
that, yeah.
So much peace. I think that's so valuable. Um, it's so valuable for people to hear because sometimes people feel like they need that reassurance,
Yeah.
that is there
Yeah.
something else out there? Am I all alone here? What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And and like for everyday life, like you said, like yeah, like the world is changing. There's so much going on. We can't even keep up with it every day, but
Yeah.
to have that remembering that belongs to you, that's
Hmm.
so powerful. And it's kind of like you can just plug back into that and charge with that, recharge
Hmm.
yourself again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow. That's just amazing. And so did you go any other doorways or?
No, that was the
Mhm.
last doorway, and Maya the Shaman just led me back out of beautiful Mother Earth. And then I was back, came up the steps and back in this beautiful field of blue cornflowers. And it was just that integration of just being back again. And then that realization that before I started the journey, I just had that the concern and the worry and what do I need to
Mhm.
do next and all of that stuff. And then I just said to her, none of it matters. Like it doesn't matter. So it's all, and she was like, exactly. You are loved. That's all that matters. You're with God, and that's all that matters. I'm like, yeah. So
Mm.
it was beautiful. I just feel so grateful to Maya the Shaman. Just she is a beautiful soul doing amazing work for us right now. And it's so yeah, it's so important right now on this planet. You know?
Oh, and really thank you for sharing your story, because sharing your journey, like it just
Mhm,
it's so powerful. I could feel it. I could feel each door and what each one had. And it's just so sacred. And
mhm,
it reminds us sometimes we get stuck in the mundaneness of life and like,
mhm.
oh, is this it? This 3D, is this it? Wars and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
all of this stuff we just keep hearing over and over again, but it's like, wait a minute, wait a minute. There's more, and we can
Mhm,
integrate that moreness into our now being because we are here, so we want to really just be here now, but we
mhm,
also want to have access to those parts of ourself and you walk through those portals, those doorways to other parts of yourself and to the divine. And you when you shut the door, you took that stuff with you. It's not like you just shut the door and like, oh, that was a good time, it's over now. Like, no, that's like part of you. That
mhm.
was you, and that is part of you. And that's the most important thing I think is the message is that we're everybody's remembering so that we don't have to get bogged down and go down in frequency with
Yeah.
everything else going on. Like we're able to hold a higher frequency. Would you say that this work helps to keep you in a higher frequency?
That yes, most definitely. Yeah. And then just the time to integrate everything, integrate the messages and using it as in the meditation and just knowing that I can call upon the white whale, I can
Hmm.
call upon this leopard, and I can
Hmm.
call upon these jellyfish even, and giving me the guidance to just keep centered within myself. And
Mm.
yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, and then how do you feel that this going through this process is going to help you moving forward, like with your herbalism work, sharing it more. Like, do you feel, we've mentioned the kind of the witch wound thing, but part of
Mhm.
this was kind of integrating back into your divine knowing and knowing that you're always loved and protected. Like, do you feel that you'll be more excited to share your work with the world too because of it?
Yes, most definitely. I find as my frequency raises, I definitely have more things coming towards me, like more opportunities, like teaching more
Mhm.
workshops and teaching more, you know, presentations and doing that sort of stuff. So I find it's coming back to me. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. I know when you said that you do herbalism, I just lit up. I'm like, I'm gonna get on your mailing list. I want to learn this stuff too, and that's a
Yeah.
call. And I think a lot of people are wanting to come back into themselves, into their higher selves, and
Hmm.
also with the herbalism. Like it's a whole holistic healing. It doesn't just stop at one place.
Yeah.
It all works together,
Hmm.
and that's the beautiful part of it. So
Hmm.
I'm going to link your website down below or your Instagram.
Yeah, just yeah, I have an Instagram page,
Okay,
so yeah, yeah.
perfect. So exciting. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on and just being here today. You have such a beautiful energy, and I personally feel that you're here grounding, so much of that beauty into all of your space. And um, you are a pillar of light. So thank you for being that. Continue shining and sharing and everything. It's part of the purpose. It's part of the purpose for being here. So, you've got a lot more beautiful big mission to do. So thank you so much, Raven. It's been such a joy. And until next time, bye for now.
Thank you, Radha. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much. Yeah. Blessings to you. Thank you.
What a breathtaking journey Raven just shared with us. A living transmission of what it means to explore the infinite cosmic records and walk through the sacred doorways of divine remembrance. And her experience reminds us all it is time to remember who you are. You came here for a divine reason, not just the version shaped by the pain or the programming, but the radiant soul who came here for a reason. So the cool part is that Raven is going to be featured in our next book, Infinite Cosmic Records, Sacred Doorways to Healing and Remembering Volume 2. And this is going to be a sacred anthology for souls across the world who dare to remember. If you'd like to join, it's as simple as booking a session with Maya the Shaman, and you just book a regular session with her. And then after your session, you just write your story and you will send it to Rudda Publishing House. Reach out to us, let us know, and we will be so happy to include you. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, much love. Bye for now.